Okay, we're going to cover some edible and non-edible things by the picture. So here's red clover. It's edible. This is what it looks like. Wolfsbane is unedible. Pokeweed berry, unedible. Dandelion, edible. Kudzu, edible. Watercress, edible. Foxglove, deadly. Holly, deadly. Hemlock, deadly. Poison ivy, deadly. Fiddlehead fern, edible. And cattail, edible. Want to cover a couple of these. Hemlock is obviously the poison of choice for philosophers. He ingested hemlock. Socrates ingested hemlock and then described the way it killed him. So this is definitely a poison one. I wanted to bring up foxglove. See the name of it? Digitalis purpurea. They actually make a heart medication called Digitalis out of that. And it, Stewart says the cardiac glycoside digitoxin, it can be used as medication for heart failure. The other one I wanted to cover was wolfsbane, Actonine napellus. So back in the 1700s, 1600s, 1700s, and into the 1800s in France, actonine poisoning was pretty common, and it helped give rise to the weird werewolf syndrome. People thought they were werewolves back in France at the time. They were taking a whole lot of weird home remedies that had wolfsbane in them. And that was supposedly one of the cures for being a werewolf or to keep werewolves away was wolfsbane. And there was a whole lot of ergot poisoning back in France at that time, where the wheat would get wet and it formed a form of LSD. So people were freaking out at the time, and they thought they were seeing werewolves everywhere. And what they were actually seeing was people thought they were werewolves. People thought other people were werewolves. And this is one of the things that helped contribute to it. It was mainly ergot poisoning. But the hysteria of the time, at the time there was what they called them corn wolves. And they were guys that were left over from the Napoleonic Wars that were disfigured. And they would hide in the fields of corn, whatever the corn was at the time. It might be wheat fields or whatever, but mainly in the cornfields because the stalks were high, because they didn't want to be seen by other people, and they'd be disfigured, and they wouldn't have actually regular clothing, so they would kill animals and wear their skins for warmth. Well, they would look like monsters. If you ran into one in the middle of nowhere, you'd see this disfigured crazy thing with big bulky furs on, so they thought they were werewolves. So there was a werewolf craze in France at the time, and this is the wolfsbane. And like I said, actonine poisoning was prevalent there, and then also there was a thing called the Beast of Gervondan, and I've covered that in several other videos. But the Beast of Gervondan was actually a lion that got out of a bestiary and started killing people. And they blamed it on wolves, and people were being killed by wolves at the time. But the Beast of Gervondan was actually a adolescent male lion, and the reason it was a male lion Yeah, the first sightings over the first, this went on for several years, the killings. And at first it didn't have a mane, and then it did. So it was an adolescent lion. And very, very interesting thing. It's called the Beast of Gervondan, but that's how you tie that in with actinine poisoning and wolfsbane and edible and unedible plants. So there you go. Thank you. I'm out.